Incredibly fruity. They're 100% drinkable. That is really good as well.
I don't know, they taste quite similar.
I really like the first two.
But I could drink them all quite happily.
Hi guys, Jack here from Bridge Coffee Roasters. Today we're looking at the IKAWA. It's a small electric coffee roaster built for roasters, farmers, green importers and home enthusiasts. It's a sample roaster, so it's only capable of roasting 50 grams of raw coffee at any one time, but you can do it in as little as 5 minutes. So today I'll be roasting coffee as a complete beginner, and we're going to find out if the IKAWA is a good purchase for a beginner like me. And just in case you're wondering, this video has nothing to do with IKAWA themselves. They're not a sponsor, and we bought this machine outright for our own use at the roastery. So IKAWA began as a startup in London in 2010, and it was first debuted in 2012 at the SEA World of Coffee. Since then, they've released a few new models, including a version for the home roaster and a few different versions of the Pro. Today, I'm using the third version of the 50 gram Pro model. It doesn't make much sense for us to fire up the 50 kilo roaster that we have just to taste 50 grams of coffee beans. So for that purpose, something like the IKAWA is absolutely perfect. So each model is based around the same kind of technology. You essentially have an empty column where the raw beans are spun around really quickly with hot air. The chaff is blown down into the jar during the roasting process. And then during the cooling phase, you remove the jar, pour out the chaff, and then the beans are ejected using cool air down into the jar below. Build quality is really nice. You've got brushed metals, there's a matte black and a white version as well. There's no plastics anywhere to be found, which is great as it does get a little bit hot. You've got a nice glass lid, which is secured using pretty strong magnets. And that's really nice to be able to see the beans as they're roasted and changing color. And you've also got this funnel at the top where you pour your beans in, and then you give it a twist to release the beans down into the roaster. Hot air is released during the roast above where the jar sits, but from what I can tell, the machine is basically smoke-free and it just smells really great. And the fact that it's a hot air electric roaster means it heats up really quickly as well. And from the few roasts that I've done already, it's managed to get up to temperature in about a minute, which is just awesome. So one of the main selling features of using the IKAWA versus something like a popcorn roaster is the software and the app that it integrates with via Bluetooth. What it allows someone like me to do, who has no idea about temperature or times when roasting coffee, is to go into the online library and find roasting profiles that already exist. So I can search by coffee, origin, or roaster, and then I can download that profile and immediately start roasting coffee, which is really cool. When you're roasting, the app also gives you a nice live view of the temperature and time, and it makes me feel like I'm actually learning something and participating in the roast itself, which is really cool to see. So what I'll do now is just give you a live demo of how I've been using the IKAWA over the last few days. In the jar, I've got a 50 gram sample of a sun-dried natural coffee from Uganda. So I've turned on the roaster, and the first thing I'm gonna do is open up the app. And as I've said, I'm a complete beginner when it comes to this, so I'm gonna download a profile instead. So I'll head into the online library, and we've got a few names and roasteries listed. And I can see Tim Wendelboe has a standard profile that he uses whenever he's unsure about the coffee he's roasting. So I'm gonna open that profile in the app and then send it to the roaster. And now the roaster is ready to go. So I've put my jar in and I'm gonna hit the top button. And you'll hear the fan start to go, and you'll see on the app the temperature rising and that it's preheating. That literally took 30 seconds to get up to temperature. So I'm gonna add the green coffee now to the top. And I'll turn this funnel, which will drop the green beans down. And then I'll turn it again to close it off. And we'll see the roast start to begin. And the app is showing me how the temperature is affected once I've added the beans. It also tells me the profile is gonna last about 5 minutes and 8 seconds, and it's gonna finish at 201 degrees Celsius. So now all I need to do really is just to sit back and let the roast play out, and I can watch how the time and the temperature is going on the graph, and I can see the beans developing through the glass lid as well, which is really nice and satisfying. So it's been going for a couple minutes now, and most of the water inside the beans has evaporated, and that's when you can start to smell all the flavors start to develop. So we've got about 45 seconds left, and I've just started hearing first crack, which is when the beans start popping and releasing some carbon dioxide. This is a pretty light roast profile as well, so I know I'm pretty near the end now. Okay, so it hit 201 degrees. We've now entered the cooling phase. So it's gonna start injecting cold air right through the roaster and cool those beans down as quickly as possible. And you can see the temperature dropping on the graph. Okay, so the cooling down has finished. That took about 2 or 3 minutes. Now you just take the jar and dispose of the chaff, put the jar back in place. Now you can press the second button and all the beans will be blown down into the jar below. Now what we should have is a delicious light roast, Tim Wendelboe-esque coffee, roasted by me, someone that's never roasted coffee before. But they're not quite ready to taste yet, so what I'm gonna do is let them rest for a few days, and I'll come back at the end of the week and taste some of the coffees that I've roasted. And because I'm a complete beginner, if any of those coffees are in any way drinkable, I'm gonna see that as a complete success. So I'll see you in a few days. Okay, so welcome back. It's been a few days since I first started using the IKAWA. I've got 3 different coffees in front of me that I roasted with the Tim Wendelboe profile. So we're just gonna see if I can get any nice flavors out of these coffees today, and I'll let some of the team try them as well and see what they think. These 2 coffees here I'm getting some nice fruitiness out of. This one's a little bit dry on the aftertaste, but the middle is much cleaner. The washed coffee here, I'm not getting so much flavor out of, and it's got a bit of a dry, lingering aftertaste. But let's see what some of the other team members think.
Really nice. Quite lightly roasted, incredibly fruity. They're 100% drinkable. That is really good as well.
They smell quite similar. And taste the same. That last one, quite lemony. I think my favourite might be the M one. I don't know, they taste quite similar. I like them all though, they're really good.
Oh, I just spilled that. Kind of like fruity, don't know. I really like the first 2.
And I've just got to dip this. And these are the ones we're having. Cool beans, as it were. Nice smell on that one. It's quite nice. That one on the right, I thought.
I'd probably go for number 2.
But this one I think it's just got more to it and it lingers as well. But I could drink them all quite happily.
Okay, so on the whole, really happy with the results. I think the coffees are tasting really nice. We had a different range of preferences, but on the whole, everyone enjoyed the coffees. So I can pretty confidently say that the IKAWA is really helpful for getting started with roasting if you don't have much experience. So that is everything for today. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and feel free to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.